Hey, so today I got my patient William here, and we are going to be testing his active range of motion of his thoracolumbar spine. And so what you want to do first is you want to get your superior landmark, which is going to be your C7 vertebrae. So you want to start your external occipital protuberance, find that, run down. It's going to be down here. I'm going to have you look down for me. And that C7 is going to pop out. Go and relax. Go ahead and look up to the ceiling for me. Feeling that C6 disappear. Go and relax. And so you know that I stuck a piece of green tape here for my benefit. The inferior landmark that we're going to want is going to be the PSIS on the left and right side, because our inferior landmark is going to be the spinous process of the S2. And since we can't really feel that, we're going to use the PSIS and then go right down the middle. So you go here, start at the anterior hip, and then find that bony protuberance, and I put some tape here, and then I'm going to have you, we're now going to pause it. Okay, so now we're going to take the measurement, but first I want you to go ahead and try and touch your toes for me, keeping those legs straight and trying to keep your trunk as straight as you can. Okay, so go ahead and do that for me. Okay, good. Come back up. Relax. Good. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take your tape measure with the 0, and you're going to put that right on that C7 landmark. You're going to run it down right between those two PSIS landmarks. Okay, and you're going to take that measurement. So I have about 46. Okay, and I'm going to have you do exactly what you just did. So go ahead and bend down forward, touching your toes. I want to hold that superior landmark and then readjust down to the PSIS and get that measurement, which is 52. Okay, go ahead and relax, come back up. And then you want to take the difference between that, and then that is your active range of motion thoracolumbar flexion measurement. Thanks. Okay, so now we're going to do a trunk rotation manual muscle test. We're going to test grades 0 through 5. We're going to start with grade 5. So I have my patient here in supine position. I'm going to have him put his hands behind his head with your interlaced fingers. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do now, so we are testing the lateral side of the abdominal muscles, going to be the external obliques, and those are innervated by the iliogastric nerves. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my hand on his left thigh, anterior side, and I'm going to have him try to get your right elbow to come and touch my hand. Okay, so whenever you're ready. Good. Good. And then we want to test bilaterally. So I'm going to place my hand on his right anterior thigh. And so now I want you to have your left elbow and try to touch my hand over here. Okay, and that was good. His scapula's cleared the table. There was clearly palpation and firing in his external oblique muscles. So that would be considered a grade 5. Now to move to grade 4, I'm going to have the patient move his hands and across them, just like across your chest, just like that. Okay, good. So the only difference here is now I'm going to have you start with your right side, and I'm going to stabilize on your anterior thigh again, and I want you to try and take this elbow to come and touch my hand over here. Good. Seeing that the scapula's cleared the table, there was palpation and contraction in the external obliques. That would be a grade 4 for the right side. We want to test bilaterally, so now I'm going to stabilize the right thigh, and I'm going to have you try to bring your left elbow and touch my hand over here. So whenever you're ready. Good. Again, scapula's cleared the table, touch my hand. There was contraction of the external obliques. That would be a grade 4. Now if there was a grade 3, I'm going to have you put your hands to the side, and if we are testing the right side, I'm going to have him put your arm out like this with your hand kind of flat, with your palm kind of facing the ground. Okay, and then come right here. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to come and try to grab my hand if you can, just like that. Okay, so you saw that there was clearly contraction of the external oblique muscles. He was able to touch my hand in that position, but his scapulas were not able to completely clear the table. Because of that, this would be a grade 3. Okay, so we want to test bilaterally. So we just tested the right side, so now we want to test the left side for a grade 3 MMT of the external obliques. So what I'm going to have him do is, instead of his right hand, I'm going to have his left arm come up, palm facing the ground, just like that. And I'm going to try and have, when I say so, I want you to try and touch my hand over here. Okay, so ready, go ahead and go. Good. So you saw that the scapulas were not able to clear the table. There was still some flexion of the head and neck, which was good, and there was still contraction of the external obliques. So that would be a grade 3. If we had a grade 2, the scapulas would not be able to clear the table, but you would still see some contraction in the neck flexors, and his head would still probably be able to come off the ground, and you would still feel some contraction in the external obliques, which would be a grade 2. If it was a grade 1, you would still feel a little bit of contraction, but you would see no movement at the head or neck, and you still may see some contraction in the neck flexors, but not enough to warrant the head to be lifted up, which would be a grade 1. And then if it was a grade 0, and you were testing, and you would still have the same position as a grade 3, 2, or 1, but there would be no contraction of the external oblique muscles, and there would be no movement of the head or the scapulas. And that are the 5 grades for trunk rotation bilaterally for manual muscle testing.